Thank you so much, Salvador. This was very impressive plea for a change in our strategies to cope with medical problems. I saw one question by Elaine Fuchs, I think, um, referring to the possibility to treat with angiotensin heart diseases. Could you activate the microphone?
We have suggested, early on, we suggested the possibility of substituting with angiotensin 1,7 as a protective mechanism for the early stages of the disease. At this stage, hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
At this stage, I know that the angiotensin 1,7 has been produced with the quality enough to do a clinical trial. And at the moment, there is one clinical trial that has started in Brazil in patients with some severity of the disease, trying to substitute and protect the endothelium by using angiotensin 1,7.
Thank you. There's another question from Ulrich Pöschel. And
yeah, I just wanted thanks also to everyone, and just following up on Salvador's comments, I just wanted to say, I think we should all try to make sure that scientific evidence also is used for even simple things, right? Not just the fancy development of vaccines and medication, but also mask. The application of mask, it's really amazing how long it took the community to realize that masks, from an aerosol physics perspective, from the beginning, it was clear that the advice that masks are not very useful was wrong. And so it's somehow we need to better coordinate that sort of simple basic knowledge is exchanged across the scientific disciplines between physical and medical communities, but then also how to bring this into the population, right? I think still one of the key issues why Asian countries have been more successful in containing this whole thing was that they took out of tradition and knowledge very simple measures very early. And we have somehow so far to implement these properly in Western countries where sort of these masks, which is a very old thing, were somehow neglected for many months, way too long.
Yeah.
Do you see any ways of how to communicate that better?
I have been really amazed by the discussion about the masks and the political turn that has taken. I wanted to just echo something that Dr. Delmonico said in the beginning. I mean, one of the earliest papers that came from China indicated very clearly that masks were going to be useful. In Asia, they had the experience of SARS-CoV-1, and they knew from that experience, not only in China, but in Korea and in Taiwan and so on, that the masks had afforded any protection. At the moment, in some countries, it is a political issue now to wear or not to wear a mask. And I think it's very damaging to bring that into politics when the evidence from public health studies clearly show that they are protected. And so there are other issues like that that have the same characteristic, and that's very sad, actually.
I will just summarize two questions that came up, and then I think we should stop and defray the rest onto the general discussion. Francis de Monico asks, is there a variation of susceptibility of the receptors on the endothelium to COVID from respiratory to cardiac to intestine and to kidney? And the other question was from De Robertis, whether hydroxychloroquine is ineffective.
Well, first of all, there is no evidence that there are isoforms of the receptor yet. I think it's being investigated because of the wide distribution of the receptor, but so far there is no evidence of isoforms, and probably at this stage we can say safely that it's one, or at least we know about one of them. The second is that hydroxychloroquine has shown in now many studies, not only that it doesn't work, but that is potentially damaging because has the possibility of inducing cardiac arrhythmias that can be fatal. Sometimes when hydroxychloroquine was combined with remdesivir, which also has the possibility of producing cardiac arrhythmias, it was really the damage and the possibility of a heart problem was very high. So hydroxychloroquine just doesn't work, and it can be damaging.
Thank you very much, Salvador. Again, a virtual applause.